just let me know that the internet connection was not strong enough, or the quality wasn't good enough for broadcasting. So hopefully it is now. So like I was saying before that, there's two things to note here. First of all, this is an MMO, an instance. If you're not familiar with that, I'll go over that. I'll explain what that is real quick. An instance is a portion of the game or a section in the game where only a set number or a specified number of characters inhabit. This one is for us currently. We're going to be the only people who can inhabit this instance. And this is, as far as Final Fantasy is concerned, this is just for the beginning. Just so it's not, people running around, and you can kind of get your bearings and figure out what's going on here, which is kind of nice. It's kind of breaks you in real easy. Like other instances, examples of instances would be dungeons. So in the beginning, you're going to be in 4-man dungeons, and it's going to be instanced, so that only those 4 people can actually enter that dungeon in that instance. And that's pretty much it. That's it. Instances are pretty general. It's just a section where only certain people can be. The next thing to note is going to be this icon over this guy's head here, and they actually, Square Enix has gone ahead and loaded it for us. So they're going to talk about initiating quests, and I'll leave that up while I talk if you want to read that. The icon is going to denote that this person has a quest for you. Now in Final Fantasy this is what it looks like, but generally it's going to look something like this, similarly, usually the gold exclamation point of some sort, or some kind of icon where the person says to them there's something that they have for you. So it's generally good to go and talk to those people, unless you know what you're doing or you're not worried about it at the moment. It's generally always going to be there. What that means is we just got to talk to this dude. He's going to give us a quest, and we're good to go. Now we are going to mess with the UI a little bit and the audio. I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit, because I'm not sure how well this mic is picking. Actually, you know what? I heard it and it sounds fine, so we're going to actually leave that alone. But this is the system configuration. This is just your basic stuff for Final Fantasy. I like to turn the touchpad sensitivity all the way up, because you can use the touchpad on the PS4 as a cursor, which is nice if you're just trying to scroll or something real quick and you have to reach over for your mouse. I do have a mouse and a keyboard. Usually, having a keyboard makes it 10 times easier to type. Otherwise, if you want to type, let me close out real quick. You're going to have to hit the touchpad to go to the bar for the chat bar, and then you're going to have to press X to select the chat bar, and then you have to hit triangle to bring up the software keyboard, which is fine, but man, I'll tell you what, it's so much easier just to type it out. So let's go back into those settings real quick. So we've got the controller settings, there's the mouse settings, and the sensitivity, which is 50 is fine. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Maybe, let's see what that is. Barely noticeable for me, but hey. Then you have display settings, so you can do maximum play the game in full HD, or you can play the game in HD quality standard. UI size is 110. Now you can, of course, in Final Fantasy, if you have a window open, you can click the L3 or R3, I'm sorry, the look stick in, and change the size of the windows, as you can see. And then there's, what is this? Other settings. Time before AOK, and client-side audio, just to client. So here you can choose if you want to watch things in Japanese, in English, German, or French. Now apparently from what I just heard, they're out in the English version versus the Japanese version, due for localization and because their culture and they do things differently over there than we do things. So some things are appropriate over there that they may not think is appropriate here, or so forth and so on. So they'll cut certain things out. So if you want the full Japanese, full-on experience, go ahead and click that Japanese button. There should be subtitles available, and you can do that, and you'll get all the full cutscenes and everything like that. Another thing I will say real quick, it's definitely a good idea to keep up with news in the game for if you're playing an MMO. What the developers will do is they'll deliver new content. Even like an expansion is definitely new content. It's a weighted piece of content, but they'll also deliver small packets of content, such as dungeons and new raids. Even new characters. They delivered, Final Fantasy delivered the class, the ninja class in a pack, in a patch. So knowing when those things are going to come out, like when they launch a new dungeon in a patch, there usually is a quest that you have to do in order to be able to access that dungeon. And on in the patch notes on the actual site, which are the notes of everything that they added in the game and all the changes that they made, in the patch notes they'll tell you where you need to go to get the quest, and what NPC you need to talk to. Just real quick again, for terms, NPCs are non-playable characters. So that's pretty much any character that you see in the game that's not controlled by a player. This guy here is an NPC. These guys over here are NPCs. Any character that you see that's not controlled by a player. And in Final Fantasy, they're noted by being green, which you can change. But let's go in and change the UI here for me real quick, which for Final Fantasy would be the HUD layout. So this is their HUD layout customization, and I'm going to do some stuff here to change some stuff up to make it a little bit easier for me, because I like more of a cinematic gameplay, so I try and move everything out of the way, so that I get a much better view of the game itself. And then there are things, it's like this hotbar 9, you can see has a blue text. For Final Fantasy, if you're using a mouse, you can right click it, and it'll actually, when it's blue, that means it's not going to show up on on your UI. If it's white, it will. So I just right click those, right click, and we'll go ahead and set these over here. I will use one hotbar. Now I'll talk about that here in a second. But the rest of these we're just going to go off here to the side. So if we ever want to edit the UI again, we don't have to go through all this mess. And I'll talk a little bit about this specifically for Final Fantasy and for other MMOs in general as well. Let's see here. Can we move all these guys? Okay, it's the pet bar. We're going to remove that, just in case. We kept that one in there. Okay, so this one is the item help window. And so what this is every item is going to have a tooltip, or it will have a description of the item and its properties and things like this. This is going to be, this will denote where that tooltip will be displayed when you hover over an item or select an item. And we're going to put that right there for now because I'm not sure where we're going to put it. This is the action help, or the action tooltip. So whenever you get an ability, such as we have this ability here, if I were to hover over that, this is going to denote where the information for that ability is going to be displayed. And I'm going to put this right over here for right now. Again, I'm not sure. Notices for Final Fantasy are going to be any kind of like party invite, guild invite, link shell invite, anything, friend request, things like that. Loot, when you're looting things in a group, it'll have their notice there that, hey, there's loot to be allotted on. If it'll bring it up and it'll say this is what it is, and if you want to lot on it, you definitely can. If you don't, you don't have, then just pass. But anyways, so that'll be where that will be displayed. The inventory grid is going to show your bags. It's not going to show the items, but it's going to show how full your bags are. They usually keep pretty good track of that, so we're actually just going to set this off over here, because we don't really need to worry about that at all. Alright, main menu, we can access that by hitting options, so we're going to take that over here. If you want that main menu button though, it is there. It'll have some buttons on there. Guild, not worried about guild. Don't need to do that. If I need to do that, if I need to see that, there are places we can go. Through the options button, that will denote that. I don't need to really see it personally at a glance, and it just clutters up the UI. So here's Here's more hotbars we're not going to use. Here's some mini maps we're not going to use. Hotbar we're not going to use. The mini map I do like to keep up there. We're just going to pull this date and time up here. We're going to pull the mini map up here. Alright, this is the duty list, or rather what it is whenever you have whenever you're queued up for a dungeon, and it'll list 5 of your current quests that you have available right now. Actually, did I do that? I don't think I did. I think this was here. This may have been down here. I saw this on someone's stream. I don't remember if that's what I did. I can't remember where I had them. I could go look, but I don't remember. This is the alliance list. So pretty much in other MMOs they typically generally call raid groups, but in Final Fantasy XIV they call them alliances. And so pretty much what it is you've got your party, and for the first beginning parts of the game, you're usually going to be in 4-man parties. Once you get later on into content, once you hit level 50, you'll start getting into 8-man parties for certain content. So each party has a limit of 8 characters. Now there is certain content that will call for 3 sets of parties, or 3 sets of 8-man parties, or 24 characters, and that's what we call an alliance. So this will just give you a little, the alliance list will just give you a brief look at what classes are in the other alliance and what their health bars are, which is kind of nice to know. So we're going to put those over here. Focus target, we'll get to that. Status effects, we'll put that square right up here. We'll give you this little grid, which I actually never noticed, which is super nice. And then this right up here. Okay. Alright. Alright, and then, so now we're going to get down to the nitty gritty here. Let's put that there. Or actually, we can put the alliances under the map. I do like having it up on the top right now. So we do that. Put the alliances here. Put this here. Let's do this here. Pretty sure that's how I have it. Again, I don't remember. I like to move this over here. This is your crossbar. If you're using a controller, this is what you'll have, and it'll be where you put all your abilities. So I'm going to move this over here, right about there. And then I'm going to move my health over here. So this is your parameter bar for Final Fantasy. It'll list your HP, which is your health pool, your life pool rather. When you drop to 0, you die. And that's what that one is. That's what HP stands for, is health points. This is your MP, or your magic points. When you hit 0 on MP, you won't be able to cast spells until it regenerates to a value that would allow you to cast a spell. So if you have Cure that's level 20, or that costs 25 MP, and you're at 0, once you get back up to 25, of course you can cast that spell again. And then TP is for physical moves. So any of your physical combat classes are going to be using TP. This does not increase or decrease in amount ever. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that, and we'll talk about TP much later on. But for right now, pretty much if you hit 0 TP, you won't be able to use your moves, your abilities until you get back to full. So we've got this here. I'm going to put this here. We're going to actually move this over a little bit. I do get a little meticulous, but that's just me. I like things to be clean. Alright, this is the pet hotbar. So if you have a pet, the only classes that have pets currently are the Arcanist, the Summoner, and the Arcanist, Summoner, and the I'm sorry, I'm blanking, and the Scholar. And so the those pets all have, they all have 3 pets each, and those pets all have specific abilities, and so all those abilities will be shown here. Alright, and then we have the progress bar. The progress bar is your cast times. What that's going to do is, if you're casting a spell or using an ability that's going to take some time until it activates, this will tell you how long it's going to be. It'll show you actually a progress bar of that happening. So we're going to put that down here. We might change this around a little bit depending on how it works. Notices we'll put up next to the chat bar. Focus target. So you have, what you can do is you can target an enemy just by clicking on them. But what you can do is by going into the options of that target, either right-clicking them, I would believe, or hitting square if you're using a controller, or the button square would be on either on a PC controller. You can actually go into the options and select that target as a focus target. So what that will do is it will actually use this menu to show you that target's HP, as well as their cast bar, as well as some buffs or debuffs, what we call them, or unadvantageous effects that might be put on them, so poisons and slows, things like that will be listed there as well. Which you'll want to have this. There are definitely fights where depending on what you're doing, you're going to want to be able to focus target, especially if you're healing. You can focus target an enemy and go back to healing your tank, have your primary healing on a particular, have your primary target on a particular friendly unit so that you can heal. While at the same time keeping an eye on the enemy, on the main enemy, on a focused enemy, so you can see if they're going to and the controller got disconnected. This is talking for too long. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, okay, so we're going to move this over here. Actually, focus target here. It's going to be a little bit in the way, but that's good. And the enemy list is going to list all the enemies in the area that you have currently, which is nice to know, especially for targeting. If you're using a mouse and keyboard, you can just go ahead and click on one. So there may come a time where there's a specific enemy that you're looking for, that you're going to want to watch out for, and it'll be listed here. Actually, move the progress bar up here, and this hot bar. So this hot bar, I'm using that one hot bar to hold buffs, because it's a lot easier for me to keep an eye on the abilities, on my advantageous abilities, and when I can use them again, when they're actually down here visible, so I know to activate them. Since I'm using a crossbar, there are going to be a lot of abilities, and I'm going to have to be switching between crossbars in order to keep up with all of those guys. I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit here, but that's okay. So we got to figure out where we're going to put these. You know what? We'll put them here. Focus target, we need to go back up there. So you're going to see those there. Yeah, we'll move notices down here. And we'll use item help up here. Typically, you shouldn't have to be worrying about item on the enemy. You should have to be worrying about progress bars. Okay, and that's it now. If you're playing Final Fantasy, the one thing you want to make sure you do is hit this save button, or everything's going to go right back to the way that it was. So there we go. Now we've got our UI set up. You can see it's a little clearer. You can see a little bit better if there's more of the screen. Alright, so let's go ahead and start this quest. Yeah, that's it. So as far as we'll talk about this, as far as Final Fantasy is concerned, you see this little sprout next to my name here. Oh yeah, we wanted to do that. Next to my name here, that denotes that I'm a new player, or a new character at very least. So that people will know, hey, this guy is new, you know, maybe I should help him out, or tease him, whatever. I'm just kidding. This is actually a very fairly friendly game, so you usually don't run into any teasing at all. And actually, okay, so this means talking about accepting quests. You don't really need to know about that, because there's an accept button right here. And so, alright, so we're going to get a little cutscene. Cool. So we're actually going to change some display things here too. And as you can see, they said duty list, right? So as I said, your quest will be listed over here, 2.5. So that's that. We can exit out of here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to change some of this stuff up a little bit really quick. Display names. We're not going to display our own name because we know what that is. Companions. Sure. Pets. Yeah. Others. Party members. Always. NPCs. We'll just keep everything as is. The only thing we really don't. Others. Party members. During battle. Alliance members during battle. Other PCs. We'll say when selected. And then friends always. And that should be that. And that just makes it so our view doesn't get cluttered up too terribly much. I think there's some other stuff here we need to change specifically for Final Fantasy. Since I'm a Lollifer and I'm kind of short, it's nice to adjust the third-person camera angle so I can see things a little bit better. Go ahead and apply that real quick. Display targets remaining percentage. So this was added in a patch, and you wouldn't know it if you didn't know. What this will do, if you click this, it'll actually show the percentage of someone's HP. It's not going to show it on that, but it's going to show it on enemies, which is something nice to know, especially later on. Okay, that's good. Control setting. Don't really need to worry about anything here. We're going to go ahead and skip previously viewed cutscenes and previously viewed transportation scenes and previously viewed. So anything we've seen before, we won't have to watch again. Let's see here. Target. Don't need to worry about that. Filters. Don't need to worry about that. Character. Idle animation. So here we can change this down to 1. So you can actually change your character through different poses. And we're going to take these through different poses. And this will, so pretty much what it will do is, if you idle, I've got it set to 1 second, but if you idle for 1 second, pretty much it'll put that character in that pose. And we'll quickly on this up. Okay, and so those are changes. So let's go ahead and I'll show you that. This is kind of a fun thing. I'll show you these poses. You can see here SIG. And it's going to be under persistent. So you can change through 4 different poses. And you'll see if I move, and then 1 second later, it will go right back to that pose instead of standing there. I like this one. That's just me. Alright, and so we're good. So let's get started here. Alright, so okay, so we picked up a quest. Now in Final Fantasy, it's going to let you know, hey, if you're in Final Fantasy, it's going to let you know, hey, you got a quest over here. If you're in a zone that has a quest that you have a quest for, it's usually going to give you on your mini map some kind of indicator as to where that quest is. Now on the mini map, it's just going to give you a general direction, and you're kind of going to have to figure it out. What you'll want to do is just follow that direction as best you can, and you should end up there. But if the thing was over here, you're going to want to head this way. You can't go through that wall, so you just want to go through. Or what you can do is bring up your map. We're going to pick this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, we're going to set that there. So you can bring up your map, and your map is going to be fixed. It's not going to rotate. And following the map's pretty easy. You know what I mean? Hey, you're looking this way, it'll show you your field of view. So we can swing our field of view, and it'll show you the direction your character is facing. So the quest that we have right now, has this yellow green check mark. It means we have a quest that we can turn in, and we can see that the quest is right here. We know how to read the map, I know, but hey, that's we're gonna go over everything. So yeah, so we know it's right there, and we just run right through. Now you're definitely gonna want to. What I like to do with maps, especially, is I like to try and train myself as their like directions, right? So okay, so this is straight ahead. You know what I mean? I just gotta go right through those doors there, and I'll close out the map, and that way I can kind of memorize where I am and know where things are. So we're gonna go speak with Noma D. Who's probably my favorite character in Final Fantasy universe. Alright, we have another pop-up here. Complete a quest by speaking to an NPC with a check mark displayed. So that's pretty much legit. Of course, usually if you have a quest to turn into an NPC, you will get some kind of indicator that will indicate that. You know, hey, there's a quest over here. And quests are how you're mainly going to level for the most part. Yeah, how you're mainly going to level for the most part. So you're going to be grabbing a lot of quests and turning a lot of quests in. So we're going to go ahead here and talk to Melody. See what she has to say. And I'm going to snack on some chips, so it might be a little loud here for a second. Hopefully it's not too bad. We got some thugs here. These dudes want. Oh yeah, pretty good. Stop being a jerk. Alright, cool. So we completed that one quest. Complete it. Got a little tiny bit of XP. So now you can see that. Well, we'll go explore a little bit. For Final Fantasy, there's, and probably for other games, but I'm not sure how they've been put there. There is a main story, and the quests that advance that story are going to be denoted by having the flame type symbol around the exclamation point. You're definitely going to want to do those whenever you can. I mean, just keep progressing through the story for sure. But of course, you are free to do whatever you want to do. Anyways, let's go explore a little bit. See if we can't see what I'm trying to talk about. So remember how we were in an instance before? Yeah, the sprint might be real quick. Well, or not. Oh, I guess we're going to stay these things. This is our first story quest. I'm going to talk about the menu. And this one's going to talk about sanctuaries, which in MMOs, or in Final Fantasy means it's a place of safety. But pretty much while you're within a sanctuary, as I said, you'll actually start to gain bonus experience, which will be denoted by a different color, darker colored bar within the experience bar. And so once you reach the end of that darker bar, you'll run out of its bonus experience. But so long as you're actually in Sanctuary, you'll continue to generate that. So what you'll usually want to do is you're going to want to log out in Sanctuaries, because even while you're logged out, you'll still generate that extra XP, and it's definitely nice. This one's going to talk about navigation, talk about using the map. There we go. So now we have our first quest. And we're just going to read this off here. So we're going to tune ourselves to the Aetherite inside the city. We'll visit the Pugilist Guild, which is our class that we chose. And we'll listen to Cicero's explanation of the markets. And then for Final Fantasy, if we click on each point here, it'll actually direct us where we need to go on the map. So we can see that I am currently using the pt2, so it looks pretty well. And just double tap to grab the map, and you just keep your finger there to move it around. So you can see here that we're pretty close to where that is. And zoom in here too if we want to. So we just need to take a left out this doorway here, and then head down this road here, and it'll be on our right. So let's go ahead and complete this first quest, and I think we'll probably end the stream there. We might go grab some other quests just to see and talk about that for a little bit. As you can see, there's a quest there that we can grab. But let's go ahead and just complete this first quest. So our first stop is going to be here at the Aetherite. What the Aetherite is in Final Fantasy is going to be a teleport point or a return point. Once you activate this, you will be able to teleport to the Aetherite that's in. So you're definitely going to want to do that. It keeps you from having to walk a lot. And of course you have to do it here because it's part of the quest. But later on, it's not going to prompt you to do that. So anytime you see an Aetherite, you're definitely going to want to go ahead and get attuned to it. Ninabaru. Trying to shake us down. He's talking about her. We'll see later on. They're going to be smaller aetheryte shards. So we've currently attuned, and we now are able to use the return spell. What the return spell is we're going to start talking a little bit more focused on fantasy here. But whenever we get into a situation that applies to other MMOs, we'll go into that as well. But the aetheryte is the return spell is basically a one-time use where you can see. So here's our abilities. I'm going to hover over it, and there's that action help bar that we placed there. So it'll tell us a little bit, give us information. So it says cast 5 seconds. So it takes 5 seconds to cast, and it has a 900-second recast time. So that means we can use it. It'll take 5 seconds to cast, but then we won't be able to use it again for another 900 seconds, which is a decent amount of time. I don't feel like doing that right now, but decent amount of time. So it's kind of like a one-use thing. We haven't learned to teleport yet. Yep. So we're gonna have to figure that out later on. But let's continue on this quest, and you can see we're no longer in an instance. You have people. And these are actual player characters here. They're denoted by blue. So these are actual people running around. Jump. Here's another person here. Here. And you can see, that there's quite a variety of looks and character looks and clothing. These two here are actually the same class where they were. This person actually just switched to Black Mage from Scholar. So as you can see, you can be any class in Final Fantasy on one character. So there's really no need for multiple characters, though some people do it. I did think about doing it for a while for battle versus crafting, and it's managing. You gotta find a way to manage money between the two characters. So another game is just a little easier, but here it's a little more difficult. So it's usually just easier just to have one character. And you see there's another NPC with a quest there. Oh, we're going the wrong way. So our next stop is going to be the Pugilist Guild, next on our list. So I'm going to go through here, and again, you can check your map, and you'll see that if you see a little arrow as far as Final Fantasy is concerned, that's a point of interest for your quest. And you can see that it has the flame around it, so that means it's a point of interest for a main story quest, so definitely want to do that, which is this person right here, the Great Receptionist. And these class quests are actually pretty interesting somewhere. So it's always fun to kind of read through them a little bit. Oops. So we completed that. We visited the Pugilist Guild. And next on our list is the markets. So let's go ahead and click on this here. I'm going to bring up. So we need to currently, it says we are, you see our little character icon here. Currently we are here in the Old Steps of Nald, and we need to go to the Old Steps of Thal. So we have to figure out how to do that. Let's see if we can figure that out real quick. So here we can see that these are denoting anytime you see like a blue text, it's an entrance to another zone. So you can see that the blue text here is saying that The old steps of fall are there's an entrance here, there's one here, and there's one here and there. And it's also showing us that we have a quest objective in that area. So there's a couple of entrances to take. This one is closest, but luckily I know that place can be kind of confusing, especially for the first time. So the best thing to do is just go ahead and head all the way over to the end there. And you can hear Birdie chirping in the background. He's having a blast. And he does that sometimes. It's a good bird. So here we're going to use our sprint button. And now as you can see, sprint, when I use sprint, my TP gauge went to 0. Now since I'm a physical damage class, that's not going to be a good thing to use if I'm expecting to be in combat anytime soon, because I'll have to wait for this to regen considerably in order to be able to do anything. So these blue markers here denote here that I'm about to pass into the next zone, which should be the steps of fall, and miss. So now we just have to locate Cicero. Oh, there he is right there. And you can see here. Again, there's the little people here. I determined the names not to be displayed. No one is targeted, so that keeps it from getting cluttered up. You see there's a focus there. You can see more. There's this guy here. He looks like he's adventuring. You can see the levels as well. Target. Let's talk to Cicero. This one here is choosing the little minion, so she's got a little fawn minion, and these are just little aesthetic things you can keep. They don't actually do anything. Well, actually now they do have a minion battle game, but we won't get into that anytime. Well, kind of soon. It depends on how fast we get through this. But you can see that she dyed her clothes. And this one actually has the, is that an owl? I haven't seen an owl. This is another minion. I'm using a lot of that. Let's go ahead and sprint. All those are player characters. That's the market mode there, which we'll get into later on. But you'll see, you often see a lot of people gathering around there, either crafting or buying gear for the class that they're leveling, or looking at prices and things like that. And it's also where the retainer bell is, and we'll get into that as well. So you'll see them calling the retainers to fill out items or sell items and things of that nature. So we'll talk to Cicero over here. We're supposed to hand him this letter of introduction. And again, we got another tooltip there, help text to kind of tell us what we need to be doing, since this is the first time that we've done it before. And he's actually telling us where we'll find specific things that we might be looking for, which is pretty nice. So we'll talk just briefly about handing over items. And it's pretty intuitive. If you have something you need to hand over, you click on that box where it's asking for that, and it'll take you directly to your key items slot. And then you can just right from there click, and it'll go in and just accept it. So now it says we need to talk back to Melody to complete this generous quest. We go back to the Adventurers Guild. Sprint a little bit. So they fight for in here anyway. And here you can see actually the NPCs that they have, a particular thing that they do, it will denote it under their name. So this guy's an independent arms vendor, which means he'll fix your gear if you need it. And this is the innkeeper, so she'll give you an inn room if you need one. Which you can go in there and you can actually type /sleep, and you can flop down on the bed and watch your character pass out and then log out if you want. Talk to Melody. She has a green check mark above her head, or the icon that denoted we had a quest to turn in. started in Limsa, so I'm not sure who he is, or I think I know who he is, but I'm not sure what kind of personality he has. But Molody is definitely my favorite. Now you can see that she does have a quest indicator, and it's definitely a story indicator, but it is red and it has a key. So we'll show you what that means, but typically that means that it is a quest that you do not meet the requirements for. So as you can see, we need to be level 4. We do not, it's not available yet because we don't meet the level requirement, and we need to be level 4, which we are only level 1. So that means we got a little bit of work to do before we can accept those quests. And it looks like there's a couple over here as well. There's one here. Let's see what we got here. We need to be level 4 to do that one. And we need to be level 4 to do that one. So we got a little bit of work to do before we can do that. Now let's see if there are. So what we can do, and then since right in our general summary there are no quests, we can hit our map button and see if there are any quests in the area that we can't pick up. And there's quite a few. There's 4 there. Let's check from the city. So we'll go to the steps of all and see if there's any around here. And there are no quests here that we can pick up. So we're going to do it around this right here. So right now we're going to take a short quick break in the stream. Probably load these videos up on YouTube, and we should be back at some point to continue on leveling, questing, story, and exploration. So thanks you guys for joining, and we'll see you soon.